Hello and welcome to Potterwatch from Page to Screen, episode 29. I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Lucy.
Last time we stole some ingredients and found out that we can speak to snakes!
Whoa!
That's cool. Lush!
Today we'll be ruminating about being a parcel tongue. Wow, big word. Big word.
Yeah.
It's a thesaurus word right there.
I do like a good ruminate. Nothing beats a good ruminate.
It's a good verb.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Lovely. So, in the film, while Harry and the others are studying, Harry is looking around and everyone seems to be very cold towards him now that they think he is the heir of Slytherin. And so he heads off. He's like, you know what, screw this. I'll do some work in my room. Even Hermione seems to dislike him suddenly. He's being quite cold.
This is so weird. I've always noticed that from the start, from the first time I watched it. Get my words right. It's like, why is Hermione being such a bitch? Why is she giving Harry like the "you're a weirdo" vibes? It's weird. It's so strange.
It's strange. Maybe she's just annoyed that he's causing disruption to study time.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
I accept that.
Nothing to do with there being the heir of Slytherin loose. She's just like, guys, come on. We've got to study.
Yeah.
I do love
Harry,
this part.
Head down.
Yeah.
Come on.
Exactly. I do love a little bit, cheeky little bit of Hogwarts life.
Yeah. It is nice to get that when it's so often missed in the film.
Yeah. No, it's nice to sprinkle a little bit in there. Just as a treat. In the book, however, it's a bit more complex than just people staring at Harry strangely in the study room. Harry spends one of many sleepless nights thinking about the possibility of actually being a descendant of Salazar Slytherin. He thinks about how the Sorting Hat put him into Gryffindor before he remembers that he would have gone into Slytherin if he said no. So he's like, well, obviously I'm not, because I'm in Gryffindor, and then he's like, whoa, wait a second. That's not quite right.
Yeah.
Harry resolves to tell Justin what actually happened in the dueling club with the snake in Herbology the next day, but the lesson is cancelled because Professor Sprout needs to put scarves and socks on the mandrakes, which is quite a fiddly task, apparently.
I would love to see, like, just a little, a few socks poking out.
Yeah.
Like, of her, or her, like, wrapping a scarf around a potato.
No, exactly. Just her walking by with like a couple of pots, and they're all like in, like, bundled up.
Yeah, like one of those season changes. Like it's all snowy, students walking by, and you see it like in the window.
Right.
Yeah.
I think they're quite good often at having like weird little things going on in the background. But I wish we had more of it, and I think this would be a good example that could have been included. It would have been fun. Harry was just awkwardly fretting about the situation with Justin until an exasperated Hermione tells Harry to just go and find him, which is good advice from Hermione. Harry finds a group of Hufflepuffs in the library, and just as he's going to walk up to see whether Justin was with them, he overhears something from their conversation and hangs back to listen. Ernie Macmillan, what a character, is convinced that Harry is the heir of Slytherin and is trying to persuade the other Hufflepuffs that that's what's going down. Harry's breaking point is when Ernie implies that Voldemort saw Harry as a competition. He says, that's probably why you know who wanted to kill him in the first place. Didn't want another Dark Lord competing with him. I wonder what other powers Potter's been hiding.
He's 12 years old. He's not a Dark Lord.
Yeah, Harry's not having this. Just as he just can't take any more bitching, he comes out of his hiding place to ask where Justin is. Harry tries to explain to the little group of Hufflepuffs that he was just calling the snake away from Justin, but Ernie doesn't believe him. Ernie's suspicious because he has heard that Harry hates the Dursleys, who he refers to as those muggles you live with. Harry responds with, it's not possible to live with the Dursleys and not hate them. I'd like to see you try it. Which is fair. It's true. It's, you are abused by these people, so can't fault you there. Harry.
Yeah, can't be that.
After all of that, Harry walks off in a huff straight into Hagrid, like in a physical sense, who is Right?
Uh,
No. Just, like, runs into him. Like, encounters him.
metaphorically.
Yeah. There are a couple
Let's
times
see.
where he physically bumps into him, but it's just this, is this just a bumping into him?
No, it's literally
Oh.
Harry blundered up the corridor, barely noticing where he was going. He was in such a fury. The result was that he walked into something very large and solid, which knocked him backwards onto the floor.
Yeah, so he physically walks into Hagrid, who is headed up to see Dumbledore about his chickens, 2 of which have been killed this year, and he needs permission to put a charm around the chicken coop.
This is another one. We've like said this in previous episodes that they should be like putting these in as like little dustings of foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Makes rereading the book so much more interesting, but then rereading the film, I think maybe this is why people rewatching the film.
Yeah.
I think this is why people don't necessarily think that Chamber of Secrets is the best one, because the rewatchability isn't the greatest in terms of like new information.
Right.
Whereas the others, you can like get more information with rewatching.
Yeah.
But this one is fairly like linear and.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a good observation. That's because that's the thing with a lot of the films why people love them, is that they can go back to them time and time again. Which is how I feel about the second one. But that's a good point, that it's kind of, there's less to learn on rewatches.
Yeah. But guys, if you hate Chamber of Secrets, go watch it right now.
Yeah,
really
PSA.
like drink it in.
Don't love not war. Like,
yeah.
Come on, guys.
Love not
you just
war.
gotta
Come
give
on,
it the love it deserves. Come on, for Dobby.
For Dobby.
Colin, for the grapes that we lost.
Yeah. For what did we say? Corey. For Corey. Come on.
Do it for Corey. Come on, people.
But yeah, it's a great film. You should definitely go rewatch it and remember how much you like it, because it is a great film.
It is great. It's fun. It is long though.
It is very
But I
long.
like that. All the Chamber of Secrets content that Warner Brothers will give me, I will happily take. The longest, I think I've said that so many times, but it blows my mind that it's the longest one.
Yeah.
Such a strange choice.
Almost as long as Endgame, right? Or longer, did you
say?
say?
It's almost as long as Infinity War.
Infinity War.
I think. Or maybe... I have already given this fact, but let me Google it to confirm.
Okay.
Oh! Avengers Infinity War is shorter than Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. And Chamber of Secrets is like 20 minutes shorter than Avengers Endgame, which is just over 3 hours.
Yeah. That's crazy.
It doesn't feel it though, because it's so good, and everyone should
so good.
just watch it over and over again, because it's peak
a testament to how good the film is, that is a surprising fact.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Stop the hate. Stop the hate. Come on, people. Corey doesn't deserve this. Anyway. So then Harry hurries. That's a good phrase. Then Harry hurries out to get his books for Transfiguration, and again another physical altercation, literally trips over Justin Finch Fletchley's cold hard body, which, as you can imagine, is the last place he wants to be seen. The only way that they show Harry being ostracised in the film is ostracised. Wow. Big words.
I'm really bringing it in, aren't I?
Yeah, we're
really stepping up my game
since the little break. The only way they show Harry being ostracised is the short study scene where everyone is giving him the evil eye. So the awkwardness of Harry finding Justin isn't kind of played up as much in the film as it is in the book. This is really a rough play. Like, this is not ideal at all in the book, and they make that very clear.
In the film it's just like, oh well, it's not great, but
yeah, it's like, oh no, it's more like, oh no, people have been petrified. But the book, he's like, oh, like, God's sake, why me every time? Come on. So here in the film, Harry has just come out of that painfully awkward study room, and Harry, without tripping over anybody's, just finds Justin a nearly headless Nick, because he's heard the snake's voice again.
I kind of like that the voice comes into play a bit more in the film. I wish it kind of had a bit more of a presence in the book, although it does make Harry look a bit stupid, because like, why are you following the
Yeah.
voice again? Like, you know that this leads to trouble. You
Yeah.
just can't help it.
No, this is a good example of Harry's kind of Achilles heel in the books and in the films as well, is his very Gryffindor
Yeah.
saving people thing, as Hermione calls it in the fifth book, in Order of the Phoenix. It's like
Chivalrous.
he doesn't even think twice. He's like, oh, that's creepy voice. People might be in danger. Let me go run towards the danger. Because other people might be there. It's like, it's stupid in a way that's so good.
Yeah.
In like
beautiful stupid.
Noble. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's very Gryffindor, it's very Harry. But it is stupid. It's a stupid decision. Yeah.
This is why I would not be in Gryffindor. Because I would have just gotten the heck out of there.
Yeah. Opposite direction.
Screw that. I don't care.
No. Yeah, absolutely. I'll head to the kitchens. That's why we're in Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not my scene. In the book, the floor is dry, but in the film, there's more water on the ground, which doesn't really make much sense, because now we have to assume that this also takes place outside the girls' bathroom, and Myrtle is just coincidentally upset again at this specific time. This is a bit of a weird choice to just have water on the floor. I guess they want to keep that motif. But it just
it's
doesn't make
almost
sense.
like the filmmakers don't understand why.
Right.
Even though they literally made it so that they copied the book.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's a strange choice.
Yeah.
Nearly Headless Nick looks a little different from book to film. In the film, he's upright in the kind of position someone would be if they'd been hanged. In the book, however, he's kind of lying down and floating 6 inches off the ground. In the book, Harry at least has the sense to consider making a run for it before he's caught, whereas in the film, he just goes up to Justin and starts kind of stroking his hand. Jerry?
Huston.
Oh, I was trying to do his name, but it's hard because it's the last name because it's double barrel. That's a tricky one. Pustin.
Justin.
No, that's his first name.
Fletchley. Finch Potter.
Fotter. Nah.
No.
See, this is why Corey is superior. If you can't make a good name, you know it's just not meant to be.
Yeah, I quite like Jerry.
Jerry is good. It bothers me. See, now we're getting into shit name opinions. It bothers me when names are okay. For example, Jedward has always bothered me because it's John and Edward. Edward's whole name is in there.
Yes.
John only gets his first initial.
Yes, true.
So it bothers me when, like, Corey, you've got, like, first two.
At least two.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit more equal. That's true.
It bothers me when it's really heavily weighted in one direction.
Well, and
personally,
that does go to show what the relationships would be like if this was, like, serious. Because Justin would completely overrun. So I guess it would be Huston.
True.
Whereas Harry and Colin, well, I guess Colin would be quite dominating. Not in that way.
No, I know.
Not in a weird way.
I know what you mean. Yeah, dominating presence in a room.
Yeah. That's another Miranda moment. Not sexually. Yeah, but it's such a weird thing. Like, why are you stroking his hand, Harry? Like, just tell us you're bi and get on with your life.
Honestly, what is so funny about that is that Harry giving off major bi vibes is purely accidental on J.K. Rowling's part, and I guess largely because she is like a heterosexual woman writing this book.
Yeah, she's going to write kind of things from her
projecting. Exactly. But she does it in a way that just makes everyone just like a little bit gay. And it's so wonderful.
So wonderful.
Kind of, I guess, like a bit ironic.
Yeah.
But it's just so...
It really is, because it, like, by Harry is one of those things like Wolf Star. It's almost like... people just accept it.
Yeah, no, it's
gay or straight Harry is much less accepted.
Yeah.
But bi Harry is definitely like a thing.
Yeah, I mean that's in there. The proof is in the pudding.
Yeah,
That's
and
not
I
the
guess
right
she
use
can't
of
really
that
get
term,
away from
but
it because everything is done from Harry's perspective, and
exactly.
she
Yeah.
really likes to, like a lot of traditional writers, she likes to make the heroes very attractive and
Yeah.
the villains very unattractive,
Yeah.
which is a great like visual device. But it's not great visual device if you've got a protagonist who you're trying to portray as straight talking about how beautiful his godfather is.
Yeah. He's like, damn, Voldemort's kind of hitting different in the 20s. Like, yeah,
Yeah, like he
weird.
definitely has a crush on Sirius
Just everyone.
and Tom Riddle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, bit of Gilderoy as
And
well.
Bill. And Bill.
And
Bill
Bill,
is number one.
for sure.
And
Yeah.
Cedric. I
And
mean,
Cedric.
can't blame him for Cedric, but
Can't blame
yeah,
him for
no,
all
for
of
sure.
them, to be fair.
Nah, true.
I don't envision Tom Riddle the same as they do in the films. I envision him a lot more good looking.
Really?
No offense to the
imagine him-
actor or anything, but you know, it's all subjective, isn't it?
Yeah.
My version of good looking.
Yeah.
I think the Chamber of Secrets Tom Riddle is how I see Tom Riddle.
Oh,
Whereas
yeah, no,
the
yes,
one in
yes,
6
Yes,
is,
no, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree.
Anyway.
Did you know?
Oh.
Actually, you know what? I'll save that fun. You might already know. You probably do already know the fun fact. I'll save it for when it's more relevant to the book we're talking about. Anyway, I will
Okay.
remember it because it's hilarious. Anyway, there's little something for you to look forward to. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It's not that exciting. Anyway, like
is it the relation? Is it who the 6 Voldemort is?
Yeah, I'll bring it up. We'll bring it up again in the
Okay.
6th book
Because I know.
it's just such. Okay, cool. It's such odd casting, but we'll
Yeah,
have to
it
wait
really
until
is.
we get that far. Anyway.
Yeah. It's weird. Like what's the word? There's a word for that when you use the offspring of people that you've already used.
Like nepotism.
Nepotism. Yeah, it's really
I think we're thinking of different
nepotistic.
fun facts.
Oh, okay.
But we will share our fun fact because I don't know what you're talking about now. So we will share our fun facts with each other.
I might have got it wrong then, but I hope I haven't.
No, I think. Anyway, we'll when we get to the 6th book, we can exchange fun facts.
Nobody knows what we're talking. If you know what we're talking about, good on you.
Yeah.
What either of us are talking about.
Yeah. Because I don't know anymore. Anyway.
Yeah.
Harry, of course, gets caught in the film.
As usual.
Yeah. In the film, it's by Filch, who says, "Caught in the act. I'll have you out of this. I'll have you out of here this time, Potter. Mark my words."
Brilliant.
Thank you. And goes off to get McGonagall. Harry could have easily just done a runner and let McGonagall come to the simple conclusion that Filch was lying to get Harry kicked out, but instead he just kind of hangs about. He just stays with the petrified people.
I'll just stay and get detention. I deserve it, probably.
Sure. Yeah.
I've done something wrong.
Something's going on here and I'm maybe involved. I usually am. That's probably what he's thinking. In the book, Harry gets caught by Peeves, who bellows, "Attack! Attack! Another attack! No mortal or ghost is safe! Run for your lives! Attack!"
He can't, be normal, can he? He has to go all the way.
He can't be chill.
Yeah.
He's so extra. He's so good. Yeah, there's no indoor voice with Peeves, for sure.
There's no middle ground.
No middle ground. And of course, students come rushing out to see what all the fuss is about, and Ernie points a finger dramatically and says, "Caught in the act," which is probably where Filch's line came from in the film. I like Filch saying it. I do.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't have Ernie in the film really. I like Ernie saying it in the book, but Filch being like, "Caught in the," it's just lovely.
Yeah.
It's a lovely delivery from. Oh my god, what's the actor's name?
Oh my gosh. What's his name? David Bradley? David Bradley, yeah.
Yes. Lovely delivery. Yeah. Cheers, Dave. Good on you.
Alright, Dave. Solid.
Alright, Dave. Peeves then starts singing a rhyme, which of course McGonagall puts a stop to almost immediately. But not before he gets out 2 lines, which are, "Oh, Potter, you rotter, what have you done? You're killing off students, you think it's good fun." I love Peeves. Peeves' rhymes. throughout the book.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the things, I think the two things that were about Peeves that is so sad that we missed from the films are, firstly, his rhymes, and secondly, the bit where he salutes the twins, but we'll get to that.
Yes.
But yeah, his lines, his little rhymes are just, this one, for some reason, really reminds me of In Deathly Hallows when he sings Voldy's Gone Mouldy, which probably is the greatest quote of all 7 novels.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anything in these books could ever top that.
Yeah,
And
Voldy.
Yeah, just that phrase. Voldy's gone mouldy. Like, what a genius Peeves is.
Yeah, I bet JK gave herself a good pat on the back there.
Yeah.
That's a good one, Self. Nice one.
It's a good one, Self.
Good job, me.
Well done. In the book, there's a detail shared about how they get Nearly Headless Nick off to the hospital wing. McGonagall conjures a large fan for Ernie, which he has to use to waft Nearly Headless Nick up the stairs, which is
for some reason I imagine an electric fan, but it's clearly like one of those Japanese or like concertina paper ones, or
no, me
Japanese
too.
one.
Yeah, that's
it's a huge
little
electric
like that
fan.
are funny. I like that. I like these little irrelevant but just like nice little random fun things.
They should have put that in a Harry Potter musical.
Yeah, that would be
with an electric fan.
Yeah. That would be funny. In both the book and the film, Harry starts trying to appeal to McGonagall, and she says, "This is out of my hands, Potter."
Yeah.
Fair.
In the book, the gargoyle guarding Dumbledore's office is standing against a seemingly random, unassuming wall. It's also described as extremely ugly. Nice. In the film, of course, it's more of like a statue. I think we can assume the statue is a griffin, which is in a well-lit alcove. It's like nice and grand. The gargoyle may be a griffin in the film because in the book, the brass knocker on Dumbledore's door is in the shape of a griffin, so the filmmakers may be trying to make a link to the book there. Or maybe we're just reading into it too much.
Maybe we're just
as usual.
Maybe we shouldn't be going this hard with children's books.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe it's not that deep.
So I thought here we'd do a little comparison of just a quick comparison of Dumbledore. Well, is there any such thing as a quick comparison with us two? But of Dumbledore's office book to film. So I'm just going to read the extract of what it's like, and then we can talk about how that's translated onto film. It says, "It was a large and beautiful circular room, full of funny little noises. A number of curious silver instruments stood on spindle-legged tables, whirring and emitting little puffs of smoke. The walls were covered with portraits of old headmasters and headmistresses, all of whom were snoozing gently in their frames. There was also an enormous claw-footed desk, and, sitting on a shelf behind it, a shabby, tattered wizard's hat, the sorting hat." I love Dumbledore's office in the films. Yeah. Let's just get that out there. I think it's brilliant set. I think they did a stellar job.
Phenomenal, yeah.
Yeah. But the thing that I really lament on them missing is, in the film they have like very standard like shelves, whereas to have there's all these like little trinkets on, whereas in the book it says spindle-legged tables, and that like imagery is so like kitschy. If you've ever like seen Howl's Moving Castle, I can imagine it as Howl's room with all of those like things tinkling and I think it should be more like kitschy. Is that the right word? Like there's lots of like just weird things that don't really make sense all bundled together, and I think that is kind of missing. But overall, I think it's brilliant. I like the levels in his office.
Yeah, for sure. I like Dumbledore's or the headmaster's office, I suppose, is always one of those sets that when we go to the studio tour, like I could spend.
Yeah.
I feel like the first few times I was at too fast because I was just like, oh, cool, yeah, right. But now I've been a few times. There's just always stuff.
You could look at it for hours.
Yeah, and the depth in it I know that sounds stupid because it's a physical, like, three-dimensional space, but they just, there are little, like, alcoves, and it goes so far back, and, like, you don't,
Yeah.
it doesn't translate, and I feel like seeing it in person made me love the set a lot more
Yeah.
than I did
If
in the
any
films.
of you, if any people listening goes to the studio tour after listening to this, you should get one of the people to show you around, because we were pointed out like a little painting in the background and some other bits and pieces that there's like letters in the drawer, which now is a bit dubious as to whether they should have shown us that, but it's a really detailed,
Intricate. I think
phenomenal
that's what
set.
always
Yeah,
gets me, is
intricate.
how they didn't half-ass it, I guess, is what
Yeah,
I'm getting at.
yeah.
It's
I
really
think the like
impressive.
tables thing is just a matter of space as well, probably.
That's true. There are a few tables with stuff on that's kind of like about, like, you have the table later on with the is it the Pepper Imps?
Oh
Or is it
yeah,
something
that's
else?
true.
But it's not quite as
It's more cluttered instead of like
yeah,
ornaments and things.
yeah,
Yeah. I just like the spindly legged tables.
yeah, yeah,
I want that. I want that in there.
yeah. They it feels like less inanimate.
Yeah.
They feel like weird little creatures or something. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I agree. That's some nice imagery.
I also really like the memory thing in the studio tour in his office, the memory like chamber.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
No, that is sick.
That's one of those ones that's like added without them like having
The little vials of memories from
in
Pet
the golden case.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's not in the books anywhere. They didn't have to do that,
No.
but they were like, you know what? We're gonna spend about half a year on this, or however much they spent on it. Must have been ages.
Yeah. No, it's very impressive.
Yeah.
But like I said, man, the props in these movies just
They might have half-assed a few things, but the props they put like their heart and soul
I'm sure they
into those.
took shortcuts and found ways to do things quicker, but it's just they just are beautiful. I love the props in these films so much. I love props.
Yeah, props in general, but Harry Potter really would kindle a love for props first.
Yeah.
Does that? I really did not say that very well.
No, I think
like if you hadn't loved props before, when watching Harry Potter, you would have a love for props afterwards.
I think going to the studio tour is maybe not the reason, but a big factor of me being like, you know what, this is cool. Like I wanna, this is something I wanna do.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Same.
It's just sick.
Yeah.
That's my conclusion to that.
Sick. So then we move on to Harry talking to the Sorting Hat, which happens obviously in both book and the film, because it's quite an important conversation. And it's all relatively similar, apart from in the book, Harry is quite nervous and takes a while to speak, and the Sorting Hat kind of fills in for him, guesses what he's saying, about wondering whether he's in the right house. Whereas in the film, he's still nervous, but he's quite a lot more confident in saying what his worries are straight away.
Yeah.
Of course, this is when Fawkes begins his rebirth, which is very similar. But what you don't get in the film is Harry's thoughts, which are just comedy gold. There's this lovely little quote that says, Harry was just thinking that all he needed was Dumbledore's pet bird to die while he was alone in the office with it, when the bird burst into flames. Like, this kid cannot catch a break. Like, wouldn't it be awful if...
He manifested that. He
really did, yeah.
Positive visualization really came through with Harry.
Yeah. Come on, Harry, if you just, like, do it with good thoughts, you'd have such much better life.
Yeah.
And Dumbledore's line, "About time too, he's been looking dreadful for days," is taken exactly from the book. But in the book, he goes on to say, "I've been telling him to get a move on," which I have questions about. Like, why? Like, come on, mate. We all know that you've seen better days. Like, is that a bit rude? Like, just die already. Come on.
I guess so. I don't know. Yeah, I suppose. I guess maybe Dumbledore's just bored with him. He's like, come on, like, just.
You look terrible.
I suppose maybe he's just. Well, I was about to say he just looks a bit rough and wants his like nice, gorgeous bird back, but
Maybe he's being a bit
the
empathetic
babies.
towards folks. Like, this isn't good for you anymore.
Yeah.
And maybe it's happened
like, come
so
on
many
now.
times, like the death and the rebirth, that it just doesn't phase
Yeah,
Dumbledore
yeah.
anymore. I
That's
hadn't
true.
thought of that.
Actually, maybe it's just like a bit of a. It's like it's time to move on. It's time to let go. Like a nice reassuring sort of like.
Let go. Let go.
Let go.
Yeah.
I do. I love the idea. It always reminds me of like people who like talk to their cat and stuff.
Yeah.
I have that image of Dumbledore being in his office, just being like, "Oh, now walks," I think it's really sweet.
I do like. There's a lot of things that are wrong. That's wrong with Dumbledore, but I really like it when they make him much more human, and like him being a pet owner.
Yeah. Oh no, I am a
adds to that.
hardcore Dumbledore hater for sure.
Yeah.
But he still has sweet moments.
Yeah. I
especially
think
earlier in the
he
book.
like. I think he deserves these like sweet. He's had a really rough time of it, and he's still having a rough time. Like,
Yeah.
he's having to send a 12-year-old constantly to his death,
Yeah.
which can't feel good.
No, he's had a rough. He's not like evil. He just has had an awful life, and so does some dodgy things.
Yeah, really dodgy things.
The amount
questionable choices.
I am on this niche of like Dumbledore slander marauders TikTok.
Okay.
I get some great edits where it's like they'll choose a song where someone's like it's like an angry, not a breakup song, but like some kind of song where they're like angry at. I can't think of a good example, but it'll be like, oh, POV, this is like what McGonagall is saying to Dumbledore after James and Lily die, and I'm like, yeah, McGonagall.
There's definitely some questionable things there, but yeah, he deserves a nice little pet.
True, yeah, little friend,
little companion who doesn't judge him for all the crap he's done.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Hagrid then comes bursting in, telling Dumbledore that Harry's innocent, which doesn't make an awful lot of sense in the film as he has zero proof. But in the book, he can at least say that he spoke to Harry like seconds before he was found with Justin.
Yeah.
In both the book and the film, Dumbledore then asks Harry if there is anything he wishes to tell him. And Harry, of course, says, "No, sir, nothing." Whilst thinking about a million things he probably should tell Dumbledore. So, who's got bets on whether he already knows all of these things?
Yeah.
It's just doing his little Dumbledore thing, reading everyone's mind. Not creepy at all. I can hear everything you're thinking, Harry. Just tell me.
I think there's less weird.
Yeah. I'm reading you like a book. Literally. Alright, so that concludes our book to film comparison. Now we will have our Marauders map section with Lucy.
Hey.
Do you want to just remind people what the Marauders map section actually is?
Sure. The Marauders map began as a note of the locations in Harry Potter. So it would just be, they go to the Glenfinnan Viaduct. So this is what, And then as we've moved on and been reading more, and we're having more locations within the universe, settings that aren't locations. It's also been more about the sets, and also it will continue to be more about props as we see the same places over and over again. It's just more about the actual places, the set design, the locations, than it is about the events that take place in them.
Nice, thank you.
Time for a little explore of the Marauders map.
Lovely.
Okie dokie. So our main new location in this section is the Headmaster's office. It is a set, it's not a location, but apparently it's a popular myth of King's College London that the round reading room on the ground floor of the... I looked at the pronunciation of this earlier.
Morgan?
No, it's just like Morn. It's just Morn.
Oh, Morn.
Oh. Yeah. The round reading room on the ground floor of the Morn Library was used as the location for the office. But this is myth. This is just students being like, oh, this was the, it's not true. It's a set.
I'm
but it has
googling
some
it,
similarity.
and it does. It has some, but it's very.
Yeah, it's very clearly not.
Yeah.
I found this from the King's College London kind of like news blog website.
Oh,
and
nice.
they had
Look at you doing research.
They had a couple of interviews from students that was like, this is awful. I feel like I've just been told Santa's not real. People were not happy. But apparently some people said, like, I can't lie. This I think it was the same guy that was like, I feel like you just told me Santa's not real. He was like, I've never even been in that room. So I think it's just one of those things that people who haven't, I'm sure if you went in, people would be like, oh yeah, no, this isn't it. There's just a lot of kind of rumour surrounding it that they have Dumbledore's office.
It's like the rumours about where J.K. Rowling started writing the book.
Like everyone's trying to claim that.
Yeah. It was our cafe. No, it was on the train. No, it was exactly. Here.
But it's a set at Leavesden.
Oh, the studio
still
tour.
is there.
Go and see it.
Still is
Go
there.
on,
really,
sponsor
really
us. Sponsor us.
Yeah, it is lovely, and you learn a lot of fun little facts about it while you're there. One of which is that most of the books on the shelves are old phone books.
Yes, love that.
And later in the films, the props in Dumbledore's office become very important and allow for a lot of foreshadowing. There's some of my favourite kind of details that you don't really see very well but are there are in this set.
Yeah.
But that will I will discuss that as we progress through the story and as we get to those important points and the stuff it's foreshadowing.
Exciting.
So there we go.
There we go. Well, that concludes this episode of Potterwatch from page to screen.
Keep twiddling those dials, keep each other safe, keep faith.
Good night. That was too many Dumbledores. Let me try that again. Shiz to tell. Him. There we go.
I just said Dumble one.
Dumble one.
It's fine.
Ooh, that goes into like Ron is Dumbledore thing.
Dumble Ron.
Yeah.
Ronbledore.
Rumbledore. Rumbledore. Right. Anyway.